I'm Josh from Vacuums R Us in Colorado, and I am here today to answer the question, are Dyson vacuums worth the money? And spoiler alert, sort of. So we have worked on tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of vacuums here. And so I've interacted with all kinds of vacuum cleaners, done all kinds of tests on all kinds of different flooring surfaces. And I think I've got a pretty good grasp on the pros and cons of all different types of vacuum cleaners. And I think when we look at department store brand or Amazon brand vacuums, I think Dyson is probably the best value against other brands. Their competitors, obviously, Shark is a big competitor to Dyson. Bissell, kind of in a different category, but definitely is in the same, basic placement with Dyson in Walmart, Target, Amazon. So I think probably Dyson is the best value, and I'll explain why. There's a performance difference between Dyson and some of the other vacuums. Dyson definitely does tend to perform better than Shark or Hoover or Bissell. It's not a performance that we can readily, dramatically, and consistently demonstrate against all of the brands though. So when we run performance testing against one machine and another, we run against multiple different flooring types, multiple different debris. And what I find is that generally speaking, Dyson tends to do better overall. But oftentimes we'll compare to another one of those department store kind of branded vacuums and we'll find, well, maybe on that flooring type, the Shark maybe does a little bit better. So it's difficult to narrow it down to are they worth the money just based strictly on performance. Based on value, if you were to base value based on longevity, I think that's where Dyson kind of edges ahead a little bit. So what I've seen going over our repair lines and going over the different brands and models of machines that come in for repair and or service is that all the vacuums essentially ultimately cost about the same in department stores. And that boils down to, give or take, about $100 a year. And I think we all know if we buy a vacuum cleaner for 90 bucks, in most households, in most, even the family, couple people, couple pets, whatever, you're going to get about a year out of that machine. Generally speaking, Dysons run around the $400 to $600 range. And what we typically see is that we see a lifetime expectancy on Dysons of between 4 to 8 years, give or take. There's some variables there. Shark usually is about $150, maybe $200. And we usually see about a year and a half, maybe two, upwards to 3 years out of them. So it's difficult to quantify the value based on price, but I think generally speaking, from a very broad view, we do see that Dyson tends to run a little bit longer and you get a little bit better value than that kind of $100 a year mark that we're seeing from the other competing brands. Another significant difference with Dyson is repair parts. While I will definitely not say they're readily available, they are more available. And because Dyson doesn't completely rework their entire model constantly, you're also able to get more aftermarket parts to maintain or repair the product. And you're also able to even get sometimes pre-owned parts. So say you have a failure at year 4 or 5 on your machine, and you need to get parts, and you could potentially extend that lifespan another 3 to 5 years. With a Dyson, that's going to be something that realistically you can probably pull off. Whereas with a Shark, it's often nearly impossible. And the same with the budget brands like Hoover or Bissell. You may find that it's not possible to get any repair components after 2 or 3 years after production. So I think with all of those things in mind, I think Dyson is probably the best option among the types of brands that are sold in big box stores. Now that said, the smallest dog turd is still a dog turd. And that's what we're doing. We're comparing dog turds. Let's be real. I'm not here to tell you that these are great vacuum cleaners, okay? I'm just telling you Dyson is probably the least evil. There's other options out there. There's other brands. So check out a local vacuum store. You're going to see very different products that are sold in department stores. We run on a different business model. We build relationships with our customer and with our community. We sell better products that last longer, that work better, that are maintainable, and better for the environment and your home. Check out your local vacuum store.